So today's session is about the natural language processing. We already covered the fundamental of AI, the foundation to AI, and we covered the computer vision as well. And we covered machine learning, I believe. So today our topic is about the natural language processing. What you will be learning today is introduction to natural language processing, or NLP. What is natural language processing and natural language processing in Azure? So today you will be exploring how to use natural language processing in services like text analysis, speech recognition, translation, and language understanding. So, starting with natural language processing. What is natural language processing? Well, NLP is a short of the natural language processing. NLP is the area of AI that deals with making sense of written and spoken language. So you have common NLP tasks like the text analysis and entity recognition. Often you need to analyze a document to determine its uh, salient um, salient points, or to identify entities uh, it mentions, such as date, place, people. For example, a company might use AI to analyze industry magazine articles to try to find articles that mention their products or executive to determine the main subject of each article. Then we have sentiment analysis. This is a common from a text ana- for, This is a common form of text analysis that calculates score indicating how positive or negative a text extract is. For example, a retailer might analyze reviews from customers to determine which ones are positive and which one are negative. Then we have the speech recognition and synthesis. It's increasingly common to encounter AI analysis systems that can recognize spoken language as input and synthesize spoken output. So, for example, in a car system might enable hands-free communication by recording incoming text messages out loud, reading the incoming text messages out loud, and enable you to verbally dictate a response, or like respond to it verbally with hands-free. And then we have the machine translation. Well, international and cross-culture collaboration is often a key to success, and this is required the ability to eliminate uh, uh, language barriers. So AI can be used to automate translation of written or spoken languages. For example, if an inbox add-in might be used to automatically translate incoming or outgoing emails, or a conference call presentation system that might provide um, a transcript of the speaker's words in multiple languages. Uh, and finally, we have semantic language programming. So languages can be complicated, and so that multiple phrases might be used to mean the same thing. For example, a driver might ask, "Where can I get gas near here?" And what are the location for the closest gas station or petrol station? Or give me direction to petrol station. Or so all of these means essentially the same thing. So semantic understand of the semantic understand of the language being used uh, is required to um, discern what the driver needs. So an automobile manufacturer could train a language model to understand phrases like these and respond by displaying appropriate satellite navigation directions, for example. Okay, so that's what a natural language processing, or NLP, is. Uh, so what is NLP in Azure? Uh, well, I think, did I miss a slide? No. Okay. We all have seen we talked about the services that NLP provides, like text analysis, semantic language modeling, machine translation, speech recognition, and so all these services basically we can build them in Azure. So you build your own custom NLP models using machine learning or NLP toolkits for various programming languages, particularly Python. So commonly used Python packages for NLP, including NLTK and other packages as well. But it is a complex area, that's for sure. Using off-the-shelf services can help you to develop a solution more quickly and with less uh, specialist or expertise. We are going to explore all these services in the next lesson, I believe. Um, let me show you some demonstration in here. So, for example, the sentiment and key phrase one, or I can enter my message. I should. So, give me a message to enter. I can't think of anything, to be honest. Uh, any message? Okay. Any message? Anything related? Can you still guys hear me?
Sorry, Mohammed, are
Yeah.
you saying something?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because like everyone's silent, I can't help. Okay. This is the skills. So this is, for example, it analyzes my text in here and tells me like it's 94% positive. I don't know where the other 6% going. Oh yeah. So this is one of the things it can do the analysis for you, for your texts in there, for example. So the entity now extraction as well, same thing. So this feature basically provides you with the keywords which are linked, which are exist in your sentence. So what are the main keywords in there? Okay, so it's a skills bootcamp, data science. Those are the things that can be used as keywords from my just this small sentence. So now the other one is oh no. So yeah, this is just a demo on how to basically um, how the text analysis can be used to try to analyze your text and something like that. So like this one, for example, it shows you some stuff about each one of those in there. Okay, like the sun, the solar system, and so on. You can see that solar system in there, the Earth in there, the sun in there, planet Jupiter. So this is what actually you can do with it, like text analysis, or one of the things. And the other one is so it's like a voice commands basically, like how you do to the like Google Home, for example. Um, just consider like you saying, okay, it's I'm watching a movie, for example. It will light up where I'm watching the movie and so on. It's too dark where I work here. It will light up the thingy and so on. So uh, energy saver, it will go down. Call Batman. Mission accomplished. So yeah, these are the things that you can basically do with NLP. These are some of the softwares that already exist in there. So you can basically create or use the NLP, for example, which I think we already using it. Like when you tell like Google Home, for example, or Apple Watch, for example, um, uh, turn the light on, turn the light off, switch the heater on. So all these things we still experience them in our day to day, on our daily basis. So yes, Xavier.
I have a question that which thing is this? Means the last thing which we have seen, it was basically they were catching the sentiments and entity. What is this? Means there are some sentences and when you click them, it's working according to that. Is it text analysis or what is
So
this?
you can basically voice recognition. This one you can use it as a voice or a text. Okay, you can basically turn the bedroom off.
Yeah.
So it will start analyze what I said in the well.
Okay.
Let's say I'm watching a movie. For some reason, it's not understanding. But yeah, that's the thing. So you can use text analysis, or uh, um, uh, you can use the text to enter the command that you want to do, or you can use voice recognition system. So these kind of things, I think it's voice recognition system. They just put this so you don't need to speak or something like this. Okay. So
Yes, thank you.
moving on with this one. Hopefully, like the NLPs is um, well, is clear to you why we're using it, why we have it, and what it is. So using NLP services. Well, the text analytics service, as like its name suggested, uh, it is used to analyze text documents. So the demonstration in the previous lesson used to use this services. For example, suppose you use a text analytics services to analyze the text. I had a wonderful vacation in France. Okay, like this. So the service can determine the language in this, the language text um, written is actually in English. So it can evaluate the sentiment of the text, okay, which we already experienced. It can detect a key phrases used in the text, okay, and it can identify known entities that are mentioned, so like friends. I think in your and there is a lab about this one as well, so you will be applying these things to see how it works. Uh, the other one is a speech recognition in here. So the speech service can provide a speech to text API that you can use to implement text recognition functionalities. So the service supports text transcription in more than 60 languages. And basically, conversely, the text-to-speech API can synthesize audible speech from text with the option to specify regionally appropriate voice for human-like pronunciation. So in your Azure machine learning um, labs, you will also applying this one. So I think the file name is speech.ipynp, which is the Python notebook. I already gave you sent you the link to my GitHub page. So then the translator text services enable you to translate text between more than 60 languages. You can basically translate audible speech by using the speech services, which has the ability to produce translated output in text or audio format, like here. So that's one of the services I think that Google is using. So you can go to Google now and like, let's say if you go to Google now and like you want to translate from all these languages to all these languages, it tells you basically, so, or you can basically, you can detect the language. If you don't know what the language is, you can upload documents in there instead of um, let's try and see. So you can upload documents in there and it will translate them to you. See, it does work. Yeah, back to this. So yeah, this is things that you can do with the language NLP basically. So you can do the translation, which we can use it if you want to translate from a document or a text, things like that, or speech, voice, speech services, which would translate anything you speak into the language that you want. So language understanding, the language understanding services enable you to train the language model that can interpret natural language comments. Okay, so the language model consists of three primary components. So for example, if you want to switch the light on, alternances are phrases that use might be saying or type, like the one that we experienced as well, the one that Severa was asking me about. Entities are specific items that are referenced in on alterness. For example, a language model for a home automation application might recognize household devices such as lights or fan. And then the last entity is, or the last component is intent. An intent identifies the desired actions for alternate. For example, to switch something on. Okay. So as you can see in there, so these are the three components for the language understanding. And we will have a lab today for you, of course. We'll go back to this one in a second. So what we learned today is introduction to a natural language processing. What is natural language processing? How using the natural language processing services like text analysis, speech recognition, translation, and language understanding. Those are the things that we covered today. And we have a lab here. After the lab, we'll carry on with the other part of the lab. So in today's session, just to recap what we covered the natural language processing. So in other words, it's broadly defined as the automatic manipulation of natural language, or like text, speech. It's happening by the software or the model. So the natural language refers to the way we humans communication with each other, like speech, text, as we are surrounded by text. Like last session we talked about. We talked about that we are surrounded by data. So anything we have, it's data around us. So we have like SMS, web pages, menus, emails, signs. So all these things are texts that we are surrounded by. Okay. This is one of the things that can be complicated in NLP in general. And we have some labs for you, so you can basically experience this and see how it works, try different things in there. Working with natural language data is not fully solved. It has been studied for half centuries, approximately, yeah, for like 50 years, and it's really hard. Uh, so when you tell me that AI is difficult, I really understand what that means because I'm there basically. So natural language is primarily hard because it is messy. There's few rules, and yet we can easily understand each other most of the time. So yeah, uh, this is just a recap of what natural language processing is. Hopefully, you understand it. I mean, uh, when you do the labs and start applying these things, you will get like a full understanding of what is NLP is, what NLP is, and also you will start experience these things in the labs when you apply them. Let me just go to my GitHub account. So there is a speech lab and translation and language understanding. I'm not really sure if they are already in the. I really don't know how many files in there. Let me check. I'm just checking. So, custom vision text. So, guys, if you didn't find everything in here which we cover, you can always find it on the GitHub channel that I have in there. Okay, so you have the speech one, which we covered today. You need to follow these instructions. We have the translation. Also, you have all the instructions in here. And text analysis. So all the steps, everything you need to do is actually there. Also, you can find all the instructions. Okay. And the data for that one. So for this translation, for example, you have these two sounds. And for the speech, you have these sounds and something. So turn the light off, turn the light on, and so. Yeah, we have some text. We have some reviews in here. You can basically use those to analyze the reviews and so on. Is everything clear so far?
Sorry, where are these labs?
So basically, you already, yeah. But first, before going to those, I think we already provide you with that one.
Oh, the last two labs.
You need to complete this lab, the LUIS one.
Yeah.
Okay, and so yeah, you need to complete this one first. Okay, and for I don't think the last one still yet. So we covered this one, and now I think later in this session we'll be covering the other part of this one, which is this from data to pop in minutes and.
Okay.
Okay. So if you start applying this lab now.
Yeah.
And I will be here to support you.
You know, when I try to log in, you know, when you click on LUIS site, it asks you for the registration. I have a bit of problem there. Can I just try again and then check?
Yeah. What site, sorry?
This, let me see. I think it's LUIS.ai.
LUIS.ai.
Yeah. I think when you create a resource group, after that you have to go through the instructions. It takes
Yeah,
you.
just if you want to log in, yeah, just use your own login, the one that you have in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where it says create a resource directory or something. Let me go through and then I'll share the screen.
Yeah,
It will be easy for. Okay, thank you.
absolutely, no problem. Here you go. So start doing the lab, I believe. And if you have any question, I'll be here in the background to help you. Okay.
Is there anything we have to go through in the GitHub?
So you can either
For
go
this,
to the GitHub,
oh,
but
okay,
basically
either
you can basically
go
just
through.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So first you need to go through the lab that you already have, the one before the last one, and then you can basically create and like apply the labs that we have on the GitHub, which I just pasted the link in there. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.